For all those who don't know us, we are PEP.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to this episode of Fresh Start Live with Fee and Pat, where the motto is, stay ready to keep them getting ready. I'm Pat.
And I'm Fee. Even though Pat say it's Fresh Start Live, it's not quite live this time.
That's your perspective.
So we're trying something new, all right? So we're trying to give you a better content. So by doing that, is we have to pre-record some of the stuff. So it's just we're working on, we are brainstorming how to bring better content for you.
Innovation at its finest.
So the topic for today?
Perspective.
Perspective. Do you trust your perspective?
Yes.
You do?
I trust my perspective, but I also try to be objective and put myself in a position to see the other side of the coin. But more than likely, more than not, I follow my perspective.
Okay, I have a very funny story to tell you,
Okay.
but actually you know about it, this story, but I'm going to tell you guys about it. We had one of our PEP brothers who was in prison since he was 13 years old, right?
Yeah.
13, and he did 20-something years?
22 years, 21
Yes,
years?
he did something 20 years. By the time he got out, he 30-something. And I'm not going to name him out, I'm just going to call him PEP brother. So he is a very go-getter. He want to experience everything himself. So on the first week when he was out, he was supposed to go from one location to the other. And he was calling the office, say, hey, I'm at this location and I'm on this street and I'm walking, trying to find this place. And then we asked him what street it was. And he says, I'm on Mangum. I said, okay, you're on the right street, keep on walking. And then about 30 minutes later, and he called back to the office and said, hey, the street just changed its name. And how can the street change its name if you keep on walking straight? He said, yeah, I'm walking on straight. And then as I walk up, the street sign keeps saying different name, Mangum, Lockwood, 34. I say, bro, you're looking at the cross street name. He say, no, the street sign is like, it's right in front of me. I can see it. It's like this. I say, no, the street sign go like this. That means it's a cross street. He said, that doesn't make sense at all. Because if you're walking, you would want to see the street sign telling you what street you're on.
Yeah.
So for our guys who is, he's actually very, very smart, very intelligent.
Yeah, a little too smart.
But he somehow he's thinking that how the world's supposed to be like. If you put on the name of the street, you're supposed to put it somewhere where people can see. And that was his perspective. And his perspective caused him to get lost.
Yeah, his perspective also said that a stop sign don't mean stop. You just slow down, and it's more efficient to slow down and go into your turn.
No, so I'm telling that story because you say you trust your perspective.
Yeah. I mean, but also when you think about perspective, for me, I think your perspective is made up of your history and experiences. Mm-hmm. And for him, having been away at such a young age, never driven a car, never had to learn what it means to be direction oriented, you know, that probably all played into his perspective.
But he says something at the end of that story when he showed up to the office. He said, it doesn't matter what I think. If the world is like that, I have to operate like that.
Yeah.
Right. But you know what? We actually, Pat and I did a role playing. Him and I was on a cruise ship. We discovered something that's very, very funny. And it's given a very good meaning to perspective and how people are getting an argument over it. And road rage actually come from that also.
Yeah.
So play the videos. I hope you enjoy it. All right, before we play out this scenario, I want to give you the setting first, all right? So on a cruise ship, for some reason, they put the floor number on the carpet. And if you've been to any cruise, you will see it. If you walked up, it's on the carpet. Actually, I don't know what the reason was for, but to play this scenario, we're gonna give you kind of like the basic. I mean, not the basic, the setting of it. So, Pat gonna play a person who just walked in from the cruise ship in the second floor, and when he walked in there, normally there's a lot of people in the elevator already waiting to get up there. So he decided that he's gonna walk because he's by himself, he's fit, and he's able to walk up there. And for me, I want to be on the floor already, and I'm not out there, so I'm just wandering in that area. So you're gonna see a scenario of Pat walking up the stair. All right, so.
Man, all that walking, I've only made it to the 6th floor? Jesus.
Hey bro, that's not 6, it's the 9th floor.
Bro, that's a 6.
I know, but I'm been on this floor. I know it's a 9th floor.
I just walked up and I'm looking down and I see 6. I know basic numbers, and that's 6.
You didn't know that you walked past 8th floor?
I started at 2. That I do remember, and I just came up, and I just looked down and I see 6.
So I know from your perspective it's a 6. My perspective it's a 9. But then another thing is I know is I have been on this floor. You wasn't on this floor.
But I just walked up and it says 6.
But you were distracted with your phone. I saw you were looking up. But either way, you right or I'm right. It doesn't matter. But if you think this is the 6th floor, you stepped on it, you're gonna find out it's not the 6th floor.
Well, I'm trying to make it to 11. And if this is 6, I still have 5 more to go. And I feel like I've already walked up like 7 or 8 flights of stairs. But I see a 6.
So by me keeping arguing with you right here, it do me no good at all. I'm not gaining anything. So I'm just helping you out by telling you it's a 9th floor.
You know,
So if you stepped on my side and seen my perspective, you wouldn't argue with me.
okay, you're right. That's 9. But if you step on my side and look down, you couldn't argue with me because
So sometimes really in life is it's not what you know or what you're accustomed to, it's what really happened. Is because I am on the 9th floor, so I can say it's a 9th floor.
Right.
Even though from your perspective it's a 6.
and I've distractedly walked up the stairs without paying attention to any of my surroundings or anything coming up until I looked down and I saw 6.
So how many times in life that you have an argument with somebody, your friend or your loved one, and you're so adamant, I know what I saw, I knew what I seen, and I knew what I heard, and I knew what I experienced, but the truth is, you're looking from your perspective.
Right. And even in this scenario, one of the things that I refused to be was objective. I refused to consider that maybe it is a 9 because I was so bent on that was a 6. That's a 6. So I understand, and I go through life probably. We all go through life a lot like that because from our level of understanding, history, and perspective, a 6.
So I'm glad you and I experienced this together on a cruise ship because it was like a light came on, you know, it's like we both seen it from different perspectives.
Right.
But the truth is, whatever it is, and then we can argue over and over and over who's right, who's wrong. You know, sometimes you just have to suppress from what you know, what you've seen,
Right.
and you know, to learn from it.
Because had this been a real scenario and we had that interaction, and you telling me this is a 9, I'm still saying it's a 6. Because there is no vested interest in the relationship, you're gonna let me keep walking, and then I'm gonna go up to 10, and I'm gonna feel kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not gonna come back down and find you and apologize. That's something I'm gonna hold on to. It's kind of like, okay, he was right, I was wrong.
What if your destination is the 8th floor, and I didn't say anything, and you keep on walking, you think it's a 6, you're gonna try to walk up 2 more floors, right?
Yeah.
So if I say right here, you listen, you correct your mistake, you only have to walk down 1 floor.
But I'm glad you said that because I want to be so right about that being 6. When I walk up to the next floor, I'm going to be looking to make sure that that's 7 because I want to justify in my mind that I was right.
Why would you? Because you saw it's a 6. You don't need to. You know so well. So guys, I hope you learned something from it. And you know, sometimes you have to just step back and kind of look at things in the big picture. And it's not what you know, it's not what you've seen, it's not what you experienced, it's what really happened.
And now we're on the same side of that's a 9.
All right. All right. So I hope you enjoy watching it. Tell us what you think. Put down a comment below what you think. Should we do some more of these role-playing videos? Actually, I don't like that video because you and I sitting like this, it look like I'm the same size with you. But in that video, I look like a midget.
Well, you know, that's your perspective. You know, it's interesting though, man, because I think what happened in that video is actually what happens in life a lot of time because we are operating from our perspective. We become argumentative. And like you brought up about road rage, that's probably why a lot of incidents and accidents happen because everybody's operating from their perspective. And it's kind of like if you get 4 vehicles that show up at the stop sign at the same time, who has the right of way? You know, quite naturally, everybody's gonna think, I got the right of way. And it's probably a lot of incidents in life, or a lot of situations in life where our perspective will take us down the wrong road or the wrong path.
Yeah, you know, our emotional taking over. It's just like the number. We learn it from when we are toddlers. You know, we know for sure what we've seen in number 6 and number 9. We know the difference.
Right.
And especially you experiencing it. You walk up the stair, and then somebody else you don't know, you're telling you, hey, you're on the wrong. You read the number wrong. So it's your everything that you learn, your experience, you have to throw outside the window and trust somebody that you don't know.
Right. And then thinking about that whole scenario on the ship, I think they could have done a better job because we growing up 6 and 9, you always have the line over or the line under. And
surprisingly, they didn't do that.
Yeah, that was interesting when you brought that to my attention, and I was like, okay. But what else?
What's new?
Well, inside, what's new is we just had our graduation, virtual graduation for the Bell unit, Cleveland. I think it went fairly well. I think it prepared us to be better with Estes March 4th.
And actually, we're working on a gift for you guys too. We want to create a healthy competition between the 2 units. Yeah. You know, guys on a different unit, you know, Estes don't know much about Cleveland. We're trying to figure a way how we can group, not group, but how can those 2 units share information and cheering for each other, rooting for each other, and having fun in the process. So we are working on something in the lab.
So 2 things happened during that graduation. I don't know if you paid attention to them, but I did. The first being that we had one of the CEOs that had been released, and even though his team continued with the plan and explained the plan, he walked everybody through because he was actually at a job site. But the second thing was that I was 17 hours away, 2 hours behind you all, participating in graduation with y'all, so that was pretty
and
cool.
For graduation that's coming up in March 4, if you guys watching this and you're interested in watching it, put a comment below or contact me and Pat. We'll make sure that we send you a link so you can participate.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool. I think the more participants, especially participant business owners, y'all got those businesses, y'all most definitely come in. And if you do nothing more than give a word of encouragement for the guys on the inside, I think seeing Sam and seeing Thomas, who came all the way from Mexico, I think that added a spark and made that day even more valuable to those guys before they saw their families. So yeah, you guys step in and pull up, be a part of the virtual event.
Okay. So for our size, we run into a problem with the permit. We actually got rejected for a permit. But we're calling for emergency meetings, and we're trying to figure it out. We should be able to get the permits approved probably soon. But we're expecting to get it sooner. So it's a little bit delay. But hopefully, in the next few days, you start seeing the wall coming down or something.
No, on the topic of permits, as we've been talking about the vending machines, one of the things that we discovered that we didn't know, in certain buildings in the city limits, you have to have permits for vending machines. So we kind of ran into that the hard way. Okay. Because we told you we had vending machines that was going into a facility, and come to find out, can't use that vending machine, so it's just sitting there unplugged. You gotta have a permit for it.
Yeah, I think the city gives you a little decal that you stick it on the machine. I've seen them on some of the machine in the building.
So the lesson in that, fellas, do your homework before you just run with an idea. Do your homework, because we've done no homework on permits, because in our mind, it's a vending machine. You don't need a permit, but you need permits for certain places for vending machines.
All right, that reminds me, I haven't done nothing with my projects out here, so I need to put that on my schedules.
Okay. But we're gonna keep it moving, and it's gonna be great.
Well, so when you guys watching this, it's not gonna be live. It's gonna be recorded and played out. Let us know what you think about it. Let us know what you think about the contents, and what we should do more of it.
And I'm going to be in the chat with you guys, as I'm sure Fee's probably going to be in there. So we're going to be interacting with you guys, and yeah, stay involved.
All right, say your closing.
All right, fellas. So remember, we're on a mission to celebrate 1 million stories. We're getting closer to that million, one at a time. Also remember that freedom demands responsibility. Responsibility has accountability. So until we see you guys again live, peace.
See y'all next week.